realistically, what happened is I had built this really, really safe bunker and put it behind all these different lines and groups. And, um, I had this nerve center that I built this. If you look up, and they talk about it in one of the battles or one of the wars that happened. If you look up past Germany, if you go up there more, up towards Russia, there was this one little place where I built all these factories and all these buildings, and I had all these bunkers and everything, and I had this really good um, defense system. And I forget exactly what happened with it, but pretty much, I think like the King of Men is all these people, and they wander around like crazy, and they have like 3,000 people or 2,000 people, and they think they can get away with this stuff. And realistically, anyway, I have this really, it's like a worldwide communication center. It's like my nerve center for my whole company, basically. And it's like there's a lot of gold there and a lot of other stuff, and it's like a really, I think it's like it's like my European Fort Knox. And Fort Knox was originally a military base and basically a central location where everything was run from. Anyway, I have one in Europe, and basically Africa or some group maybe Adolf Hitler basically just wants to go after the gold and some other stuff, and they fight their way up and they fight their way in, and it's not really a real big fight, and eventually they break through and get to my German people or my people that I had inside the bunker or something like that, or get close, and I think they took them hostage, and then they go and quickly try and reinforce the defenses that they just busted through and pretend to be whatever. And then my real army goes up there and we basically bulldoze it and crush right through it, I am pretty sure. And they're like, "Oh, your lines are defense, or whatever. Call in more troops to reinforce." It's like, who are you? um, I mean, I don't know. My defenses that I had there in place there were really, really tough, and it would take a lot to get through. And he might have gone in on a base inspection or some sort of, snuck his way in and then taken the hostages and then expected the people to just defend themselves. And then I think once the situation was explained, my army basically just passed right into there and got to them, because it's like, well, he's a psychopath. He did this. He did that. And you could just follow his path of destruction, where he raped and killed, and then ran up to basically a secure bunker, and then took someone hostage and said, "If your men don't defend you or defend me, then you're gonna die first." And that's pretty much what he was saying. I think there's even camera of it, him going to the window with the guy with the gun to him, and he's like, "If you don't defend defend me, this man dies." And he was like this general, and he's like, "Fuck it, shoot me." And and my units, I think, go in, and I think he's like really being psycho or something, and like there's this picture where he's coming to. There's like this film reel where he comes to the thing, and like you can see the gun to the guy is what's called, and basically expects he's like "You better keep them away," and stuff like that, and it doesn't really say all that much. It just shows like this guy. He stays in the shadows so no one can actually see him on purpose, I think, like that, because he doesn't want to get on film or something. Um, and because there's all these people who know once they get on film, it's over. I'll put the film of them all over the frickin' world after they've done what they've done. Everyone will see it, and then even your own mother might shoot you. Anyway, and everyone knows that once you get on film, it's over. They'll show your film everywhere. So, and I do that quite often. So anyway, so they try and stay in the shadows as much as they can, and basically, I think I had a sniper, one of my SS groups, who were really good riflemen, and did like I don't think he knew. We were posting the maximum range on sniper rifles as 700 feet or something like that, and you can shoot a lot farther than that. So he thought he was safe, and we got a guy close enough, and I think they went right through like when the next time we brought up, like you can kind of get, like there's like a 3-inch window right there, where one way or the other way or something like that. And there's like this little balcony you could walk out on, and he was staying in the shadow and had the gun to the guy's throat. And we got our guy in there, and he made the 3-inch shot where right into the guy. And he was kind of like trying to dodge and stay in the shadow and like look out or whatever, he's trying to check, and all that. And he was dodging back there, and I mean, I'm just going by what I was told anyway. And then my guys just saw him, just waited for him to come into view, and then, or waited for him to start. Actually, they said we waited for him to start to move, and then when he was moving, because he would be dodging back and forth, and when he would dodge, because you could see the Luger or whatever right here, and he had my general or my person hostage, or one of my persons hostage, or I think it might have been a girl. I don't really know exactly. I don't really remember writing just basic things of the film. There's a film of it basically, and shows him up there, and basically they waited for him to start to move, and then they took the shot, and but I think the person died anyway, because he had another person in back further, and then that person just opened up on my guy, and my guy falls out or something, or dies basically. And well, we got one of them, and I forget exactly what the details of it. It kind of went wrong, and it was just a bad situation because there's this bunkers and stuff, and my guys were sneaking in to get this guy. Because like I say, I mean. He was just a psychopath, so I don't really know. I mean, as basically all my military men, all my people, they basically designed it to, the system was designed to protect and keep the psychopaths out. And for the most part, the only psychopath that actually ever got past us was actually the psychopath that got elected or whatever. Like, I actually let JFK get elected to the presidency, and then after that, or elected to, I was like, well, I guess, I've ruled forever, so we'll try somebody else, Of course, I didn't know exactly what was going to happen, but so anyway, and then everything went bad from there. But I mean, I'm still like 800-year-old. I mean, 100 trillion-year-old creator of 300 galaxies, and I lived it. I mean, I lived all those moments and was basically part of that. And that's pretty much what made me so powerful and so great, was the fact that, we actually lived it and went through it, and, and protecting people and keeping safe. And I actually built all those buildings. That was my aircraft company, where it got bombed, and I think we bombed. I don't know if we bombed it. I think we bombed it on purpose because another group came in. Like, this one guy was running in front of this other group. There's this other group, and they came in and they held the other people hostage. They killed like the town, or they held the town hostage or something like that. He was just like the forward person that was running and going up. And then he had like his army group coming in or something, which is just a couple, like 300 other crazy guys, or like 3,000 or something like that. And they tried to take over the whole town. And then the situation escalates, because now you have 3,000 people holding a whole town hostage and forcing them to work in the aircraft facility and basically build the aircraft, and then they're going to try and use them to sell them or bomb people. And it's like, anyway, so it became a bigger problem. And then that's when, my military was really sent in with a couple things, although I forget exactly. I mean, it gets kind of confusing, because it's like, well, it's kind of like almost like a police situation. It's not really like a declare war and go in there kind of situation. It's just like 30 to 3,000 psychopaths, So yeah, I generally dealt with bigger situations, but it was one of my people. So, and I let the wife and the family be there. So.